podcasting from Prospect Park. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. As usual for me, it's good morning. For you guys on YouTube, you can see that I have the Wallman rink behind me, and whenever you choose to listen or look, afternoon, evening, night, I very much appreciate the like, the looks, and the listens and the support. And always make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, going forward, know your role. I don't want to say anything else after that. I don't want Dwayne Johnson or WWF coming after me for anything like that. But that phrase was coined by The Rock when he was doing the wrestling thing back in the day. And I'm talking about know your role because most of us right now, we just don't know our roles, unfortunately. And the thing about that is that when I say we collectively, not just, you singling you out individually, but most of us just don't have our heads out of our own asses, unfortunately. Sorry for the cuss words there. But when I say know your role, the problem that I see, I come across this, I've experienced this myself, that we forgot our roles as men and as women. I know a lot of times people have the narrative all the time about, which set of peoples do more dirt than the others, which one's doing this, blah, 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 blah. We've done forgot what we're supposed to be doing here. I know that, a lot of people think it's too old school or old time-ish to follow Elohim, to follow God and the commandments and everything. But those things hold true to this day. No matter how much you may want to argue about it, no matter how much times you may think you have something better, you don't have anything that's better that's already laid out for us. Unfortunately, we think we could always do better. That's our problem. And the problem is we forgot our roles. We no longer know our roles. So we don't know how to stay in our lanes any properly, because the problem is a very old podcast that I had, I kind of cringe when I look at my earlier stuff, but each thing is a step at a time, and I was going on too long, and then it's like the format changed. Anyways, as you can see how my channel evolved. I had an old podcast called What's Wrong with Men, and I basically went down all the issues that men are going through, what causes problems in today's society right now that we always seem to conveniently forget when we're living our lives and living our best lives or whatever the case is. The problem is that when you don't have men doing what they're supposed to do, you leave a void right there. The unfortunate part is that once that void is there, the women and the children are going to have to pick up the slack going forward, unfortunately. The men are the foundation of the home. And a lot of us grew up not realizing that. Even people who, I'm not even talking about people who are in single parent homes, single mothers or whatever like that. You need both parents. You could have both parents in your home, and if the father or the mother, I'm going to get to women too, don't worry about it. If the father and mother are not there in the proper capacity, you're going to destroy that child. And when you have a child that's dealing with a whole lot of stress that they're not supposed to be dealing with, and you have a child who has to deal with the neglect of any parents who may be there, may not be there, it's going to cause a lot of destructive habits, and it's going to be really hard to overcome that, because the problem is once we get used to certain things, it becomes normalized to us. And the problem is when we normalize bad things, guess what? No one's going to care about the proper standards anymore. So I'm not just talking about when I talk about fathers and men not being in the place that they're supposed to be or knowing their role and acting it out properly. It causes a lot of damage because now everybody else has to play, damage control. And then what happens now, people have to overcompensate for your underrepresentation there as a parent, as a man, because the man's supposed to be the one, you could say provider and all that stuff, but that's just like kind of after the fact. You have to be established first. You have to know how to treat a woman. You have to know who you are. I'm always constantly talking about all my podcasts about that. You're going to have to know how to elevate yourself, develop yourself, and get those proper standards. We can't come up with our own standards because we're always going to change like the mood and the tides in the ocean. Men, you have to step up. And, if you're a dude and you have a child and you're not living with that child, you have to do whatever you can, to be involved with that child's life. They're already starting off at a disadvantage if you're not there in that home, or even if you are there in that home and you're not really engaging. You got to change that up, man, because, future generations are being challenged for that. Future generations are going to suffer because of that. Going forward to the women now, they have to know their roles too, because unfortunately society tells you that there's no worth in being at home and building the home up. That's where everyone starts off at. How can we possibly think that women are devalued by, sustaining a home, running a home? That's basically full-time project management. Yeah, I know project managers get like 6-figure salaries and stuff, but unfortunately, you can't really put a dollar sign on quality upbringing. You can't put a dollar sign on educating your kids properly. And kids need boundaries. Both parents do that, but the mother, the woman in the role in the home, that is so important. Sure, you can have a career and go get yours. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it's time to have a family, man, you're going to have to step up. You got to just kind of leave that mindset that this world tells you that being at home, raising the children are unimportant. And this is where we're going down in a tailspin right now. People don't know their roles. I just want to make this really quick, but men, you got to step up. We got to step up. I got to step up and learn a lot of things too that I didn't learn coming up. Women, you got to get out that mindset. Got to let some dudes do what they got to do and stop trying to overcompensate. You can't say you're a mother and then say Happy Father's Day. That's nonsense. Anyways, that's all I got today. You can always listen to all my content on www.brooklynbaritone.com. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. You could also catch me on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. You could find me on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook. You could also listen to my podcast on the Google Play Store and the Apple iTunes Play Store. I hope I had give you guys a good listen. Anyways, walk good, be blessed. You will hear from me next week. Love you all. Take care.